So here's an interesting review. So since there was a Royal Rumble yesterday, no idea who won. Yet do I care. And somehow,
know who it is if you don't know any of the people
uh, I'll just take a stab at it. I'm guessing CM Boring was in it. Um,
Probably.
um, Roman Reindeer.
Probably the winner.
How original! Of course, he was the winner. Oh, that's predictable. Who was announcing? Bozo and Clown.
I don't know. I don't know who the announcers are anymore.
Okay, so I'm just gonna guess Michael Cole, one of the worst announcers ever hired.
He announces anymore.
Okay, well, he doesn't announce anymore, so he probably writes the stories, which is just as bad.
I feel terrible. I don't know if he does.
Okay, so I just got CM Boring and Roman Reigns. Who else am I even?
I don't know. I don't know who's in WWE.
Okay, so I'm just going to take it as it was bad. I'll review yesterday's Royal Rumble, F triple minus or unwatchable, and I didn't see it. So apparently it's on ESPN now. That's interesting. So now I cannot get WWE on Peacock anymore. So I went right to the DVDs and dug out Royal Rumble 1990, and I'm actually going to somehow review this. Once again, cannot really show clips because of the wonderful copyright rules that the WWE police has on YouTubers. Some people can get away with it. I have no idea how. Please comment below if you know, please. So I don't think I will get any comments for that. They're not going to let me know. So I will just do my best showing stills here. So this roster in 1990 was actually good, believe it or not. Unlike the so-called stars of today, this had Hulk Hogan, the Ultimate Warrior, Hercules was in this, the Warlord was in this, the Barbarian was in this, Bret Hart was in this, Mr. Perfect was in this, Ravishing Recruit was in this, Andre the Giant was in this, Smash and Axe was in this, just to name, and the Earthquake, and Dino Bravo, and Roddy Piper, and Macho King. And Ted DiBiase. Oh, yes. Dusty Rhodes was in this. Um, sorry, when he actually got to WWE, they really did a very poor job with his character. I don't think it was Dusty Rhodes' fault. Um, Unfortunately, I missed the Dusty Rhodes going into WWF because I saw him. I started watching again in 1991, not 1990. So I missed the whole Dusty Rhodes experience. His action figure was still being sold, though. So he was still in stores when I got into wrestling. So that was a little confusing. It would, like I said, it was the same thing with Demolition. Um, so now there were some other matches. The Bushwhackers started things off against the Rougeau brothers, and the Bushwhackers, of course, was a comedy team. And we all know Jacques and Rougeau, the Rougeau brothers. And I think I'm being called to take somebody to the bathroom after I'm done with my intro here. So I will review the 1990 Royal Rumble. Like I said, I'm off guard, so I will do it right after this.
Love game shows now have one in your home with Gus Glitch, Mr. Game Show. That's me, the man with the plastic smile. Pick a game. Hey, famous places for big bucks. Mount Everest. Wrong, Dan. Dig a hole and crawl in. Go for it, JJ. North Pole. Correctamundo, JJ. You win the grand prize. An advanced entertainment system. Me. But can there be more? Yes, I come with 10 different games. And you can add lots more. But enough about me. Let's talk about me.
So I actually started my intro without the whole commercial deal. So I did leave off with the Bushwick. Oh, yes. So this was Mr. Game Show. How did I find out about this? It was either from, it actually may have been from Storage Wars. And somebody found it in one of the storage units. So this looked pretty cool. So I finally looked up the commercial on it. And they're actually not worth that much money. Believe it or not, you can actually find one, I believe, on eBay for like $40. So, anyways, this was the whole Mr. Game Show. It looked pretty cool. It looked like kind of a Guy Smiley kind of deal from Sesame Street. So, anyways, so back to the
Slappy feel?
It's like, okay, now he did not look like Slappy. Okay, maybe he did. So, getting back to the wonderful Royal Rumble of 1990, was this good or not? We'll find out at the end. So, okay, and we have one opinion already. If CM Boring is in the last night's Royal Rumble, then no. It cannot be as bad as that. So, so getting back to this, so like I said, we had the Bushwhackers and Rougeau to kick it off. And then we had Brutus Beefcake against the Genius. Now, again, this name may not be in the order. I'm just giving you what matches were there. And also we had Hacksaw Jim Duggan against the Big Boss Man. One wrestler was good. One was really limited at best. I don't think I have to name which one was. Hacksaw. So, and then of course we also had two interesting personalities going at it. We have Ronnie Garvin against Greg the Hammer Valentine. Both personalities could easily put you to sleep, but they were both decent technical wrestlers, which I guess at the end of the day is really all that matters. But boy, are they boring. So now the actual Rumble match was actually it was announced, and unfortunately not by Gorilla Monsoon, but Jesse the Body Ventura and Tony Schiavone. And I guess Schiavone went along to announce WCW, and Jesse Ventura really needs. Well, I guess Tony Schiavone is apparently an announcer on AEW now, which I just found out from my wonderful bride to be who keeps up on this stuff. On the other hand,
I'm not good on this stuff. I only watch certain ones.
oh, okay. Well, I don't watch any of them, so I don't know any of anything going on right now currently. So I have no clue. So please comment below, and maybe you can even ask, why are you doing wrestling stuff when all you do is bash it? That's a great question because I do it a lot. Um, Even though I do find some of it very entertaining, I know it's choreographed. Um, I know it's all an act, but you know what? I watch it for a cheap laugh, so sue me. Um, so yes, I do actually like Shivani and Ventura announcing. Obviously, I like Gorilla Monsoon a lot better. I like him and Ventura probably the best. And then, of course, then we have JR and Lawler, who were also very, very enjoyable. Vince McMahon wasn't bad. The problem with him is he had two babyface announcers with him. So the announcing didn't really work out that well when he was with Roddy Piper and Macho Man. You can disagree with me if you want. So moving on from the announced nonsense, the actual Royal Rumble in 1990, like I said, the roster was stacked for it. A lot of good ones. I also did miss the model Rick Martel, Tino Santana, um, Superfly Jimmy Snuka, which I honestly really never saw wrestle that much. The first time I saw him wrestle was against The Undertaker in WrestleMania 7, and that wasn't even a match. The Undertaker just wiped the floor with him. It was pretty much non-eventful at all. So moving on, I'm going to try to show Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone right off the bat, just because Ventura starts already, and because this was in Orlando. I guess Jesse the Body decided to dress casual, while poor Schiavone looked like he looks like a penguin suffocating in that tuxedo. So yeah, he doesn't look happy. So I will try to show this clip. Hopefully, it doesn't get cut, and I will show that in just a second. That's good. This is Jesse Ventura and Tony Schiavone. And like I said, he does look like a penguin who's about to suffocate in that very tight tuxedo. So obviously, Tony Schiavone is the low man on the totem pole because he had to dress up. So, and Jesse Ventura just got to wear whatever he wanted, and also his contract was running up, I believe. That's why they brought in Roddy Piper to announce, and he took his place. So on Superstars, then it became Vince McMahon with Roddy Piper instead of Ventura. So the first match, like I said, was the Rougeau brothers, and they came down with Jimmy Hart. And this was pretty much, I'm not going to lie, it was a comedy match to begin with because that's what the Bushwhackers were. They were a comedy tag team. Unfortunately, in New Zealand, they were actually very, very good wrestlers. And then they came to this wonderful company, probably made more money, but they're going to be used as a comedy gimmick, which means no titles. How nice. So, so now they are fighting the Rougeau brothers, and like I said, there was some biting, licking. They bit Danny Davis, the referee. Um, so there were obviously some interesting comments from Jesse Ventura saying, I hope Danny Davis gets some shots at the end of this match." So I will try to show the end of this. Um, if it gets cut, so what? This is a meaningless match, anyways. So I will try to show this clip in just a second. So this is the end of the match, and I believe this is the only pay-per-view and only major team that the Bushwhackers ever beat. I could be wrong on that. I know when they were in Superstars, I know that they got double-crossed by the Tugboat and pretty much got the bejeebers kicked out of them by the Nasty Boys and Earthquake. And I know they just beat up jobbers on Superstars, but other than that, I don't ever remember them actually beating any major tag team. I can't see them being okay with this, being major superstars in another country. So they must have been paid a lot of money. So so this is the end of the match here, where they beat the Rougeau brothers. I'm not sure how much longer. Um, I actually forgot the other guy's name with the mustache. Um, I know that Jacques became the Mountie, which was I thought it was a great gimmick. But the other Rougeau actually went on to be a announcer. So I forgot if it was Ray Rougeau. That could be it. Haven't really watched him wrestle until I got these on DVD. So I'm sorry for that. If I did get his name wrong, I do apologize. So
No, you don't. You don't care.
I actually kind of do. I kind of like them, and I like Jimmy Hart as their announcer. The Bush. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Manager. He did announce, though, in some ways. He had the big blowhorn with him. The Bushwhackers did kind of mess with them a little bit during the match. Um, Now, I know this was a meaningless match. It was a comedy match, but this did get the crowd excited. It probably got them laughing. Um, so I think this was a way to kind of pump the crowd up a little bit. This was a nice opening match. And in most Royal Rumbles, the Bushwhackers did open. I believe they did it with the Beverly Brothers in 1992. So, as usual, this is a Royal Rumble. So, of course, there are a lot of promos. And nobody does a promo like the Million Dollar Man with Mean Gene Okerlund and his useless bodyguard, Virgin. Oh, I mean, Virgil. I'm sorry about that. So, I'm probably right. So I will try to show this clip for just a few seconds. Let's see if I can get away with it.
To the Mickey Mouse, Jesse Ventura, and you, Tony.
For me to show all you 9-to-5 nickel and dimers out there that I'm the greatest wrestling talent in the world.
So this is typical Ted DiBiase, talking about the whole nickel and diming, 9-to-5ers, making fun of the working class people, which is pretty much the whole entire arena in Orlando. So this, of course, is to get the crowd again just booing him. I always thought he was funny. I didn't really care what he said. Um, but Ted DiBiase was, I think, a very underrated wrestler in so many ways. I did actually like the fact that he was in the Royal Rumble. I believe he did last a while as well. So now the next clip here talk about comedy gimmicks. I hope they keep this one because it is one of my favorites. Believe it or not, the Genius I did actually like when I was able to YouTube his matches. Did he win a lot? No. Did he get booed a lot? Yes. But was he funny? Oh, absolutely. Him and Hillbilly Jim. If you have the time, please YouTube that match. I do believe you will laugh a lot. So this is, of course, the what happened. This is, of course, the Genius. This is Randy Savage's brother,
Really?
Lenny Poffo. Yes, it is.
They have nothing to like.
Yeah, they really don't. I found this out later on, obviously, when I looked up all this wrestling stuff. So hopefully, we get to hear his poem on Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and I will show you what the genius did before his match. Now, one of the reasons why he stopped wrestling is because, well, one day, obviously, we all know that these wrestlers are roided up. Apparently, his story was he looked in the shower and saw some shrinkage. And he said he's not taking steroids anymore. And part of that could have ruined his career. So he did not bulk up like the rest of them. Um, so he went on to managing some other wrestlers. I believe the Beverly Brothers were one of them, and he still managed to come up with poems. I thought this was a very creative part of his whole character. Yes, he was funny. He was amusing. I don't believe he won a lot, and the vignettes with Mr. Perfect were just amusing. Um, so the genius was definitely funny. He's definitely somebody to laugh at. It was a comedy gimmick, and he did it really, really well. At least he wrote poems. He was creative. So now I will show a still with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and apparently he's getting a free haircut. So I will show that still in just a second. So this was the little still here that I showed. So Brutus Beefcake is giving him a haircut. He does cut his hair a little bit. Mr. Perfect comes in and starts hitting him with a chair. This was a double disqualification. So in my opinion, this was two comedy matches in a row. I believe the next one is Ronnie Garvin and Greg the Hammer Valentine. That I'm not really going to get into too much, other than it was a submission match. But before that, I'm going to show or try to show a little bit of a clip here, a promo. The Heenan family is all together, and this is I do want to show Sean Mooney. He is another one that does interview the wrestlers. Him and Mean Gene were very, very good at what they did. I missed both of them when they ended up leaving. So I will show this clip in just a second.
Is that supposed to be like that? That's the Royal Rumble rule.
Say Andre the Giant. Now, Andre, you could go up against Taku if you could be the last
I
guy.
don't want to take anything that
So this is Sean Mooney. He caused a little stir here with the Heenan family. And of course, this is Andre the Giant, this is Haku, and this is also Ravishing Rick Rude. They were all managed, of course, by Bobby the Brain Heenan, who was one of the best heel managers maybe ever. So every time I saw Bobby Heenan, I wanted to punch him in the face. So he did his job really, really, really well. So moving on. So speaking of managers, we have Jimmy Hart again, who is with Greg the Hammer Valentine. And thank God Jimmy Hart was with him, because that is the only reason why Greg the Hammer Valentine was somewhat entertaining. Jimmy Hart, the Mouse of the South, had to talk for him, because if he did, he would put you to sleep. So, and Ronnie Garvin really didn't do you any favors. So now I will show a still here of Ronnie Garvin in the figure four leg lock. He, of course, has a brace on, so he's able to make this face at Greg the Hammer Boring Valentine. So I will show this still in just a second, and then we are moving on. So this match actually really wasn't bad. Ronnie Garvin, I never really watched much of. Greg the Hammer Valentine, of course, we all know my opinion of him. Um, so this match really didn't do a whole lot for me, really, except for Jimmy Hart and, of course, Jesse Ventura. I believe he made jokes about Joey Morella, the referee that was reffing the match. There was a little inside joke there with him and Gorilla Monsoon when he would announce, because that was Gorilla Monsoon's stepson. And Jesse Ventura always made fun of Morella for either counting too slow, or he called him that idiot Morella. He did that just because it was Gorilla Monsoon's stepson. So there was a little inside joke there that I don't know how many people actually got.
What the heck is this? A whole family affair? God damn.
So
Much work.
so it's very entertaining. It made it funny. So I'm thinking Ventura probably made some Morella jokes during that actual match. Um, so moving on, we had the annoying Brother Love, who of course was played by Bruce Pritchard, who was a Vince McMahon suck up. So he did nothing but kiss Vince's butt, even during the whole scandal. So I used to like Bruce Pritchard. Now I have a different opinion of him. Uh, so
You watched the documentary?
yeah, yeah, my opinion just completely changed because I really liked listening to him on the documentaries. So Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire are, let's just say that they're giving Brother Love the business. So hopefully I will show this really quick clip. Just don't tell Vince because then he might actually shut my channel down. So I will show that in just a second. So this was a pretty enjoyable part. Like I said, I wasn't a huge Dusty Rhodes fan like most people. That's because I never really got a heavy dose of him. Actually, I really didn't at all until I started buying these DVDs. I didn't really watch any of the territory stuff, so I do apologize for that. So I'm sure I'll be getting some diehard wrestling fans that are actually going to be watching this. Again, I was a huge fan, just not as much as most people. So, I will show the. So obviously, this whole part here with Brother Love, I enjoy it more and more, and I hope he did sort of injure himself on the way down, just because of him just loving to kiss Vince's behind. So he could say what a great person Vince was all he wants. I think we pretty much know by now. No, he wasn't. So yeah, Bruce could suck it. Um, so now I will show the next clip here. Yeah, I'm kind of going back to the whole cheap laugh thing. So we have Jim Duggan and the Big Boss Man. Uh, the Big Boss Man, I know he became a baby face or a good guy shortly after this. Um, obviously, I can tell the whole timing here with Jim Duggan was a little bit limited just watching part of this match. The Big Boss Man, he was very agile for his size, and he was actually a really talented wrestler where, like I said, Jim Duggan was limited at best. So now Jim Duggan was good with the 2x4. So hopefully I will get this clip in here because he does go after Slick, which was very, very amusing. Jim Duggan was another comedy gimmick. So I will show this clip hopefully in just a second. Well, so this is Jim Duggan here. So the boss man hit him with the nightstick. And then so he was disqualified. So then Duggan, of course, took his 2x4. He hit the boss man with it and then decided to hit Slick with it as well. And of course, Ventura defends the big boss man on this. That's just a typical Ventura thing. That's what made him one of the best. I do love his hatred for Hulk Hogan. I loved it every time he rooted against him. It really was quite amusing.
You liked Hulk Hogan back then.
Well, back then I did, but I probably would have laughed at the way that Ventura did talk about him. Like I said, though, yeah, I didn't hear. See, now I didn't hear Ventura as a kid. I had to watch him. I had to learn to like him later on because I bought the WrestleMania anthology. So then that's how I started hearing Ventura. I never actually did. His contract ran out literally right before I started watching it. So I had to deal with Macho Man, Vince, and Roddy Piper, not Ventura.
But is
So
he a bad one than us?
yes.
He's the heel.
See, he is the heel announcer for sure. Yes, he says he's unbiased, but he clearly is. Bobby Heenan also took his place, and Bobby Heenan was okay, but he was a little bit. He wasn't realistic. Let's put it that way. So now that we are to the Royal Rumble, DiBiase does draw first. Coco Beware draws second, and Coco Beware was a very interesting wrestler, very talented, very athletic. Unfortunately, he always he always lost, but he didn't get clobbered. He just didn't do enough. He usually got like a small package, or he got a count out or something. I mean, he always looked really good. So unfortunately, though, he did get thrown out quickly. But it's okay. Marty Jannetty is going to try to eliminate Ted DiBiase. Marty, it is up to Marty Jannetty to eliminate him next. So let's see what good old Marty does. So this is Marty Jannetty at his best. I didn't think he was going to last a long time. And the first time I actually saw this, I actually had to rent this on VHS. So I did forget about that this is the first time that I did watch this. And this is before I bought the Royal Rumbles on DVD, which was many years later. So this is Marty Jannetty just flying over the top rope. So there were two high flyers pretty much right off the bat. You had Coco Beware, and then you had Marty Jannetty. So after Marty Jannetty was Jake the Snake, and then a few others followed. Bret Hart, Bad News Brown, the Warlord. Wait till you see the size of the Warlord if you've never actually seen this yet. And also Roddy Piper as well. Of course, he goes crazy when he enters. And of course, Macho King. And we will find out what happens to Jake Roberts. He tried to deliver a DDT, and let's just say that it looks like it's going to cost him. So I will show that in just a second. Well, so Jake Roberts got eliminated. And I'm trying to think who came out after Jake Roberts did get eliminated. I think it might have actually been Andre the Giant. Oh, it was Dusty. That's right. Okay. I'm sorry. I forget about Dusty Rhodes all the time. So now I forgot that at the beginning of this Rumble, of course, you have probably 10 minutes of wrestlers cutting promos. So there is a lot of time filling going on during this Rumble. And also they advertise WrestleMania 6, which is in the Sky Dome in Toronto. So I am doing my best to show clips during this Rumble. It will be easier when I review a WrestleMania. So I will show Andre the Giant is the next clip I will be showing. I have to show Andre the Giant and the Warlord going at it because those are just two monsters. Andre, of course, was limited at this time. He is using the ropes to stabilize himself a lot. We all know his condition really did hurt his mobility. So that's kind of a sad story there. This is one of his last matches. WrestleMania 6, I thought, in some ways was kind of sad because it seemed like he was waving to the crowd in some ways, saying, "This is my last WrestleMania that I will be wrestling in." So moving on, I will now show the clip of Andre and the Warlord, and we'll see how this ends up. So this is Andre pretty much getting rid of the Warlord, and I guess we tried to get him. We tried showing how he uses the rope to stabilize himself. After this, of course, Mr. Fuji and Bobby Heenan went after each other, so that was kind of amusing. The managers were just fantastic in these older wrestling. They do not really have them anymore. Personalities just don't exist. This was entertainment at its best. Even though this may not be one of my favorite Royal Rumbles, there is still enough here to keep my attention. So several people go out and several go in. But now we have the Earthquake, who was incredibly entertaining. At this time, he was called the Canadian Earthquake. So he is just shaking the ring. He's eliminating people. And now we actually have teamwork, and there's about 4 or 5 of them or 6 of them trying to get him out. Usually, this does not accomplish anything. Let's see if it actually works this time. So I will show that in just a second. The Earthquake did get eliminated. So I actually did like the Earthquake as a heel. I thought he did a great job. And then even when he became a babyface, I still actually didn't lose any type of. I didn't think that lost any spark. Um, he was very good at what he did. It's just it was a shame of how he actually passed away. He was one of the better wrestlers in so many ways. He is one that was actually a pure family man. You don't hear about that often. So the earthquake was good in so many ways. So now, since the earthquake got eliminated, there were many more that went in, and like I said, so many more that went out. So the Warrior went in with full blast, and Hulk Hogan followed. And then you saw the poor timing between him and Haku. Haku knew what he was doing. Hogan just has his his little leg boot, which is lame. He has his leg drop, which is lame, and then he just punches, which is lame. And then he does his whole thing where somebody's beating the bejeebers out of him, and then he does his little finger pointing, and then does his little shake and bake, and then he just starts beating up his opponents with nothing but fists. The fans loved it at the time. Now I just watch it, and it just makes me sick. So now Hogan and the Warrior seem to have this is what starts their feud to WrestleMania 6, and I have to show this. I'm sorry. We all know what it is, but I'm going to show it anyway. Well, so this is very typical here. The Warrior's going over. Hogan knocks him over. The Warrior just, I don't think he really knew exactly what happened, except he just went in the ring and then he just, he punched a few people and then ran out of the ring and ran back. So now who knows if this was supposed to happen or not. The Warrior always went off script and into the business for himself. I've looked up enough stuff on him where there's enough documentation to really cover what how he was like backstage. His ex-wife can defend him as much as she wants. His new wife can defend him as much as she pleases to. But there's enough people that have said how difficult he was to work with. Apparently, Hulk Hogan really didn't have that much trouble with him. It even says on his self destruction DVD, Hulk Hogan actually does go on record saying, I liked Jim. So people can disagree with me all they want. It said it right on the DVD. I liked Jim. So as much as he got mad at him at times, I think he said enough that said he also did respect him as well. So now I will show the end of it. We all pretty much know how it ends. Mr. Perfect versus Hulk Hogan. Mr. Perfect, very, very good technical wrestler. He was very athletic. He was actually good at wrestling in high school. Hulk Hogan, we all know, was just nothing more than a big bass player. So let's just see how this plays out. I'm sure everybody knows, but I'm going to show it anyway. So I will show that in just a second. So here's the predictable ending. And like I said before, Mr. Perfect looked like he did have some type of edge on him. But then, of course, he did his thing where he seems to get an adrenaline rush. And then he just seems to kind of make his little comeback. So Hulk Hogan was just big, but his wrestling skills were limited. He wasn't athletic. Looking back on it now, I wish I was not him for Halloween. I wish I didn't have an action figure. Now I'm happy that my friend broke him. So again, those action figures were incredibly frail. So anyways, so now with this 1990 Royal Rumble, how am I going to review it? It was actually, I'm going to just say it, it was probably so much better than yesterday's garbage. Um, if I had to give this a grade, ooh, I was actually going to give this a solid grade, but the beginning matches were flat out laughs. So for me, I enjoyed them. But if you are a person that likes great wrestling, maybe this isn't for you after all. That is kind of how I would be grading this. The Ronnie Garvin match, if you really wanted a great wrestling match, that was actually probably it, and that was my least favorite. So in that aspect, I guess it really wasn't that great. There were no tag titles being exchanged. There was no Intercontinental Championship belt match. So really, maybe this wasn't one of the best Rumbles, but the actual Royal Rumble itself, the Rumble match was not bad. Like I said, it had a very heavy roster with guys that would be believable if they did win. The Warlord would have been believable. The Earthquake would have been believable. Even Ted DiBiase may have been believable as well, if you want to throw in Bret Hart or Mr. Perfect. But of course, it was Hulk Hogan at the end. Me, myself, I actually did enjoy this. I found it entertaining. So I am actually going to give this a B. I can guarantee other people would actually grade this a lot lower than me for sure, because I've seen many things out there that said the 1990 Royal Rumble was ruined. And I do understand that. Coming from a pure wrestling fan, I can see people having a problem with this. But I was entertained. Maybe it's just because the stuff today is just so bad. But I will give this also a good grade for the announcing as well. I did enjoy Ventura. Schiavone was fair. He's not as bad as Michael Cole, not even close. So, comment below. I'm sure people will disagree with me 100%. But comment below. Subscribe if you want. It does help the channel. Oh, yes. And then I guess liking it does boost it up as well, which is what I'm just learning as I'm going along. And also, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, you do enjoy this nice little Royal Rumble review.